Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Joyce, and I'm going to be reacting to something called SJWs, which I think is social justice warriors. But before we get into any of that, I am running on 3 hours of sleep right now. Ever since the start of the quarantine, I've been like half sleeping. I went to sleep at 4, woke up at 7, and here we are 2 hours later. I find myself in front of my mic and camera rolling. But I'm going to be reacting to SJWs, which is social justice warriors. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a bunch of retarded people who have a weird view of politics and a weird view of just many other issues in America. And there always has to come the expert or someone somewhat knowledgeable in that field who kind of exposes them on just them being stupid, and half the time leaves them absolutely speechless. Like someone will be at a rally protesting a lost cause or something that doesn't even make sense. Literally nothing to back up their protest, just to protest. They're just there, and then someone will come in asking questions, and they'll ask good questions, and then normally will leave them speechless, and it's funny. So that's what I'm watching. One thing I should get out before the start of the video: happy early 4th of July. It's July 3rd. I'm recording this right now. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. I think we're going to go to one of my uncles, family and all that. I may not record it as much. How I like to fully vlog stuff like Christmas or New Year or Thanksgiving or stuff like that. Because now I kind of spend more time with family more than recording. But I more than likely will record a little bit, just to put it up. And if you go to my Instagram, which is in the description, you will probably see some pictures of me, my family, or some fireworks, things like that. So that's just some stuff to look forward to. But without any further ado, let's go.
Media?
Michelle, what do you people want?
What do I want?
Michelle,
When you say you people, what do you mean?
the complaining black people, blaming others for the failure of their parents and their lives,
What complaint
blaming
have we made?
others for whatever it is you complain about. What is it exactly do you want from white people? I'm trying to find out
I
what
want-
you want.
What's your nationality?
American.
Are you white?
I'm black American.
Oh, okay.
What do you want?
You Caucasian.
Oh, you do? And
But-
why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Because you seem to separate yourself from us, should I say?
In
Put
what
us on
way?
the other
In
side
what
of the
way?
fence. In the ways that you've specified thus far.
Meaning what? Tell me, give me an example and tell me what you mean.
How you mean? How do? What do you people want from white people? Meaning that I'm not with you.
Oh, okay, I
It's
got you.
just y'all by yourself, right?
Let me explain why I do that. What you don't know is that there are two realities in life. One is that of good and one is that of evil. And now that I've been able to overcome evil, I don't identify with angry, evil black people. I identify with other blacks and others who are on the side of good. And so that's why I say you people, because I have to divide myself or separate myself from evil and go along with good. So that's why I do that.
What is it that makes us evil?
I'm sorry, your anger, your blaming others for your problems, your lack of love and respect for yourself and others.
Okay.
my man on the money with that one.
Well, astonishing sexism. We have to teach.
Oh, here we
teach
go.
young
Here we go. Oh God, here we go. Whenever it comes to feminism or sexism or somewhere when there's tension between the two sexes, it's always the best. It always is, because this is where people are the most retarded. This is where you will find the most retarded people in society.
Having even mentioned the Floyd Mayweather fight, they're walking away
Oh,
with
that's Ronda Rousey.
hundreds of millions of dollars at stake. You being at the height of your sport, maybe make what, $1 million at most per fight. Does that anger you, and what can we do to change that?
I don't like to talk about exactly how much money I make, but I'm extremely comfortable and happy.
You are.
Yes.
Okay, so
And,
No
if
problem.
I got to a point where I had almost 50 fights, I would probably be making close to the same amount of money that Floyd does.
Well, yeah, whenever you try to, I can't stand people who during interviews always try to bring up those type of questions like, oh, are you happy? Oh, they always try to bring in like social problems and political problems into someone's profession. sometimes people just don't care. I know it may be a problem, but just because it's a problem for you does not mean it's exactly a problem for someone else who's enjoying themselves and having fun and, you know, enjoying their profession, enjoying what they do and making good money off of it, and they're satisfied with the money that they're getting. And when someone like this woman, clearly, the interviewer or whatever she does, clearly trying to put, you know, kind of what it seems like trying to put a little bit of problems into someone's life, or not in their life, but like trying to ask a problematic question around someone's profession, who's enjoying themselves and enjoying their time and enjoying their money that they're getting. You got to get up out of here.
And I'm a feminist because I believe in equality for men and for women and men and for all genders.
So women and men?
No, all genders.
No, so women and men.
We go.
There's women.
There are two genders biologically. I'm sorry.
Isn't there's you're not now you're totally excluding, you know, transgender, non-binary, you know, gender fluid people, and these.
I mean, you can live in your unicorn world.
I'm gonna assume that you're a cisgender straight woman because you obviously
that's really true.
and that you probably haven't ever been raped. Either.
I actually identify
So
as an attack helicopter, so it's really
to me,
offensive.
You sound like you're speaking from a very privileged point of view here.
Very privileged. There's male and there's female. There are
people
two
actually,
biological
like, jumping
genders.
up on her.
Science exists. I'm sorry to tell you all that science exists, but it does.
Yeah, see, listen, bro. When it comes to, I'm not even going to touch anywhere up on the LGBT whatever. I can't say it. I am not homosexual. At least I don't think I am. But when it comes to this, you know, you've heard it many times and you heard it again. People believe that there are more than two genders. Please, riddle me this. If there are more than two genders, how come we haven't seen any of these genders listed here in animals? A lot of people feel offended by the simplest things, and especially when it comes to gender and how they classify themselves and what they're comfortable with, what their sexual preferences, the people that they like, the gender that they feel comfortable around, or whatever the case may be. People like this feel the need to bend the very rules of biology just so that they don't feel offended or whatever. There always was two genders, there is two genders, and there will always be only two genders. Come on now. Even if, let's say, you had a baby that was born with some sort of defects or something like that, then like let's say you have a female born with male body parts or a male born with female body parts, that's still a male just with female body parts, or a female just with male body parts. It's not like they're a hybrid. It's not like they're a cross between the two and you can like put them into a new gender category. That doesn't work. Science does not work that way. I'm sorry to tell you.
Online, you can find it through the socialized organizations that study rape. I participate with an organization that works as a rape crisis center. We base that on the number of calls. The police know, based on the unofficial reports, the third-party reporting, and the direct reports. This is not a secret that about 10% of rapes are reported.
So how do you know 10% of rapes are reported if the others aren't?
Because those people call the women's centers, they ask for help, they seek medical attention.
So they are reported.
Got you.
I'm actually really in celebration of my body. I find beauty in diversity. I think we come in all shapes and sizes. And the assumption that we've dealt with a lot on this show is that just because you're obese, you must overeat. You must have an eating disorder. I know that not to be the case. I know you can have a healthy relationship.
A little shaky. Okay.
The HAES approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented to work. And it's been documented to work year after year.
What do you mean work? What do you mean work? Because a health at every size is a lie. If you starve yourself into damage, that's unhealthy. Or if you eat yourself into damage, that's not healthy.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's just not. That's not true.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's like saying that.
Weight
let's
being
say you were a smoker.
self-destructive.
Let's say you're a smoker and have black lungs, and you try to say that's healthy because you don't have cancer yet. We know that it is actually factual that obesity is dangerous, and it's connected to cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's. We even know it's connected to an increase in birth defects. So there's nothing left to debate. It's not beautiful. It's not healthy.
Again, not wrong. I mean, she could have been a little calm about it, you know, kind of eased her way through, but nonetheless, She got her point through. She is correct. When it comes to that type of stuff, which can be threatening, obesity can be damaging. But then again, obesity in America is like the norm. You go to another country, you find someone who's obese, you're like, damn, I gotta hang with you. Where you got all the good food at? You know what I'm saying? But then you come to America, you find an obese person is like, you have health problems. I'm pretty sure every single solitary person has someone in their family who is considered obese. There's so many obese people in America that I'm pretty sure everyone knows someone who's obese. You know, this woman in some sort of way is kind of correct in her point, which is when it comes to this kind of stuff, when it comes to health problems and defects, and like she said, birth defects and that type of stuff, obesity can be tied to it. So, work out, basically. And I don't know why so many people like act like it's hard, They don't even try. Like sometimes, like if you dedicate yourself to it, it's possible. That's the thing. It's possible. Many people have done it. It's possible if you dedicate your time, if you dedicate money, even like go to the gym, you know, that type of thing. If you just constantly dedicate yourself to it, it's going to take time. It's not going to just happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take months, maybe, possibly years. Well, not a whole lot of years, but in many cases it does take months. But if you dedicate your time and, you know, resources to that goal, you will more than likely reach it within those months. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't really try, but if you stop complaining and actually try and actually get it done, then you'll be fine.
But it is a substantial improvement, and this is what workers have put forward. Fast food workers themselves courageously took their lives into their own hands, walked out of their jobs in a one-day strike in New York City, and demanded $15 an hour. And that is the first step, because the economy is not going to remain static. We have to fight for affordable housing. We have to fight for better services in terms of mass transit, education, healthcare, and that is why we have to also talk about taxing the super wealthy and big corporations.
Well, I mean, of course, one government policy leads to the next. If you raise the minimum wage, then it's going to raise the rents. When it raises the rents, you're going to have to build affordable housing. When you have to build affordable housing, you have to tax people to build the affordable housing. When you tax people to build the affordable housing, people move out of the city, and you have to raise taxes on the people who remain in the city, and this is how you hollow out the economy of a major metropolitan area in the United States.
That's what I'm saying. That right there is what I'm talking about. When it comes to Ben Shapiro, a lot of people don't like him. I mean, I get it because of one's views, of one's thoughts, of one's opinions, things like that. When it comes to that stuff, I really don't touch any. I don't touch any of that. I really don't care. But Ben Shapiro is, when it comes to this type of stuff and exposing people on just ignorance or just being stupid and just being absent-minded and things like that, he is normally on the money. Like, he is always on the money. Like, he is normally. And a lot of people don't like him because of his views, politics, I don't touch any of that. But when it comes to this stuff, my man's on the money with it.
And words matter. So when a community of people that has been perpetually marginalized at institutions across America over history feels offended, we should acknowledge that. And I think that these protests are a reflection of a community of minorities that feel unacknowledged and not respected. And so, Ben, I read your article today, and I was shocked by the language you used. You were saying that it's time for the right
call the police
to
right now.
fight. Yeah. No, but you read his column.
Evidence. All this is screaming and feelings. How about like a shred of evidence? Really, where was the police report exactly when it came to, for example, the first N-word incident that led all of this? There was no police report on any of that. In the second incident at the N-word at the University of Missouri, the administration investigated, and the kid's under investigation. In the third incident with the cop car,
let me just ask you this, because we're short on time. You tell me, Namiki, whether we are training these kids to be little cupcakes who never have to encounter anything offensive assuming everything you said is offensive. They never have to encounter it because they can call the cops or they can get their administrators fired, or whether it's better to educate them that there are offensive things in life. There are insulting things in life.
Exactly.
There are people who will say very incorrect or impolite things about you, politically incorrect things about you, very publicly, and in a way that you might feel very offended by. And you have to deal with that in life.
I think
you have
people
to deal
understand that, but I
Yeah,
think that,
come on,
you know,
what you
this
gotta
is a
say?
blame the victim situation. We should be ridding the world of bigotry. We should be talking about that rather than blaming it on the victim who feels hurt, disrespected on campus, who doesn't feel heard by their administrators.
I love that utopia. It doesn't exist. It's not realistic. It does not exist. Good luck getting rid of all the bigotry.
Well, we can
All the
work at
bigotry.
it.
We're just
That's
going to wipe the world.
progress.
We'd love to,
Progress.
but it's not reality. I
They
gotta go.
literally just fired a white guy for being a white guy, and he's the victim.
Okay, I gotta go.
not true.
Great debate. Thank you both for.
I gotta go. Get out of here. I gotta go, please. Thank you. Like what she was saying, when it comes to that, sadly, there is not a reality, and even if there is, we are far from it. The reality of people just being nice, people just being caring, people just sadly, we more than likely will always have people who just straight up will not care, who will straight up who will straight up be impolite, who will hate, who will be jealous, who will envy others, who will kill others, who will, we're always going to have evil, okay? But then again, you can't have the good without the bad, and you can't have the bad without the good. And I'm pretty sure that, everybody wants to, get rid of evil, stop robberies, stop killings, and I'm all for that, but that utopia doesn't exist, and it will never exist. Every time you save someone's life, like on one block, around the block, someone else got killed. That's just the reality of it. That's just the reality, sadly. And I don't really like that reality, but then again, that's the reality I live in, and that's the reality we all live in, and we just gotta learn to accept that, and we gotta learn, you could still try and fix it, you can still try to fix little things here and there, but first off, when it comes to that type of stuff, you gotta learn how to survive that, you gotta learn how to deal with that, you gotta learn how to counter that, you gotta learn how to deal with it, how to get through it, because if you don't know that, you ain't got a chance.
13 people were killed, 53 were injured by guns when they have some of the strongest gun laws in America. Can you explain that to me?
They don't have strong gun laws in America because any idiot can buy a gun.
In Chicago.
Any idiot can buy a gun from a gun show or on the internet, and there are no
they can buy it
background
illegally
checks.
as well when they're banned.
But back here
Not
in,
not
here in
if
the
not
UK.
if you have background checks, and not if you
No,
have.
I'm saying they can buy it
strictly-
illegally.
No,
They can buy it illegally.
This
There's
is
no
this is
background checks when
precisely
buying
this
things
is
illegally.
precisely why you and the Libertarian Party in Canada and the Libertarian Party in America have no credibility. You are completely disregarded as a
These are
political
personal
force.
attacks, sir. These are personal attacks.
When it comes to gun laws and you cannot talk about gun laws without talking about school shootings, because that is a prime example of loose gun laws in this country. When it comes to school shootings, first off, you can't shoot none without a gun. So where do they get the gun from? You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, normally they had to have got it from their parents. They had to have got it from somewhere in their family, or they bought it. And it is, like this guy said, yes, they more than likely do sell weapons without doing a background check or da-da-da-da-da. It does happen, and I do believe that's why a lot of people end up dying from loose guns, because guns are everywhere, okay? Firearms, everywhere. They are everywhere, okay? And I was watching, as a matter of fact, there's a documentary, or like a documentary series on Hulu, if you've ever heard of it. It's called Underworld Inc. I watch it, and there's actually, what it does is it touches bases on all of the illegal or immoral or just evil around the world when it comes to guns, drugs, prostitution, even forgeries, fake money or fake goods, imported goods, fake cash, pirating, stealing, gambling in some sort of ways. When it comes drag racing, even when it comes to all of these illegal activities where there's money in, it's on there. And there's this one specific episode of firearms and how they're made, how they're sold, how they're distributed, how the whole thing works. And guns are very much, especially pistols and handguns and machine pistols and submachine guns. And even when you get to like the drug cartels and militias of different, not even of America, but of different countries, you will find shotguns, you will find assault rifles, you will find illegal weapons, you will find even explosives, stuff like that. But when that all comes into conclusion, in conclusion, they are, the gun laws in America, in my opinion, are quite loose. Okay, I don't remember when the last school shooting was in America. I don't really care at this point. There's just so much. But we haven't had one in a while, which thank God. I don't want to have another one, especially not one at my school, because if y'all don't know, I'm about to become a senior. I'm about to be in my final year of high school. I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm trying to get up out of here in my senior year. Ain't nothing happening in my senior year. All right, you know what it is. But when it comes to this type of stuff, unfortunately, the gun laws in America are quite loose, because anyone can buy a gun. Really, like if you're of age, of course, which I'm pretty sure that's a thing. If you're of age, yeah, as long as you're of age and you got the money, you can more than likely get a gun from anywhere, even illegally. But it is what it is. Sadly, that's a reality that we all live in.
We may or we may not use the footage. It is a public area, so we do have legal rights to use the footage.
But you interviewed them specifically, right? So
yes, and they gave us consent to interview them.
Well, now they're withdrawing it, so
that's not how it works, but
which is interesting given the event that you're at, right? Like, that's a little bit contradictory.
What do you mean it's a little bit contradictory? Well, I totally say that's not how it works. Well, you can't just withdraw consent the next, well, that's interesting. Why is that interesting?
It's just
I don't know. No. Tell me why.
Like a rally for rapists, consent and withdrawing consent, saying no means no. They're saying no, and you're saying that
Okay, so if someone gives consent the night before, and then they have listen. If they have sex with a man and they give consent to him, then the next day decide, oh, I regret it. I'm going to report him for being a rapist, even though I gave him consent. You're saying that's okay?
So you're sounding a little bit like a 12-year-old because it's.
She on the money. She on the money on that one. She got a point. What is it? Come on now. Look, listen, bro. She is absolutely on the money with that one. You cannot give consent, not even in sexual activity, but in anything. You cannot give consent and then wait until it's too late and then want to all of a sudden. You know what? That's how a lot of white women have gotten a lot of black men in prison over the last, few centuries or whatever, because it has happened a lot to where even a little white girl of age even has lured some black man in, they did their thing, and then eventually she was like, I have a chance. I'm going to go report him. And at the time, it was like if you were black, that was automatically a crime. Like if you was black, he would automatically doing something. But I don't know if that's much of the case now. I don't see it, but not to say that it doesn't happen. I just don't see it. Then again, I don't look for it. But yeah, she on the money with that one. You can't give consent, not even in sex, but of anything. And then all of a sudden, the next second when it's too late, just then all of a sudden regret it and be like, now I'm gonna report you. Now I want to get, even just to get some money out of the situation. You cannot do that. That is not how things work. I can't go to 4th of July, which is tomorrow. I can't go to my family's house and everybody give me their consent, to be on camera and everything, and me record and have them all, just having a good time, and then all of a sudden a year later, or not even a year later, just a few months later, a few weeks later, whatever, just be like, oh no, I don't like the way I look in that video. Could you delete it, please? No. I would be more than happy to take my time to edit, cut you out if it really bothers you that bad. But if it's too late and what's done is done and can't be undone, then you can't try and undo it. I don't know what else to say.
You don't waste a line of questioning. I'm just giving you...
I love the mansplaining. I'm enjoying it.
You're loving what?
The mansplaining that's going on.
What
Well, just talking me through how by not answering the question, by repeating processes which are not related to the question that I've asked.
What's mansplaining, Senator?
It's the slightly patronising and condescending way that you're responding to my questions.
Well, I would suggest, Senator, that if you're putting the word man in front of some description of what I'm doing, you're doing that which I'm sure you're very much against, is making a sexist implication about how I'm conducting my role as a man.
Well, then the easiest way to do it...
Is that what you're saying, Senator?
Well, what I'm saying is that the way you've been responding to me has been patronising and condescending, and I have responded to that. So the easiest way to deal with this is not to have that way in responding to the questions I've asked.
Imagine the reaction, Senator, if I said you were woman-splaining. You're saying that I'm mansplaining.
Well, it is a term that's used.
Is it by whom?
Well, it is a term that's used.
By rude,
doesn't make
by rude senators. By senators
no.
who are seeking to make gender an issue. Stop being a hypocrite.
Well,
Conduct yourself
it.
Appropriately for this
well,
place.
I'm sorry you're so offended by the use of the word. It is a word that's used. I'm surprised that you're so shocked by the use of the word.
No, I'm just calling hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Labor.
That's gonna be it for this one. I've been recording for 45 minutes, just about, and that's kind of enough. But I'm gonna touch bases on this issue here because this is actually a very big one. But and then I'm gonna end it. But when it comes to sexism, it exists in both ways. It's not always the man, the man being somewhat patronizing or condescending, or offending or hurting the woman. It happens in both ways. It happens many times in both ways as well. It happens. I feel like because of that right there, because of people think it's always the man. People think it's always the man when it comes to a woman. When it comes to a man and a woman, and there's tension or problems, people always assume it's coming from the men. But I believe that is just the right cloak for the woman to go and do something. I'm just saying, when it comes to that type of situation and the woman does something, a lot of times people don't really care. They don't really care. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. Nope, skip on. But then they see the man do something, like, oh God, we need to do something. We need to. Half the time, sometimes it be the woman. Like, sometimes you gotta fix the woman on that. And what she said, mansplaining, the condescending, patronizing way of dodging questions and still trying to explain themselves. Like, how come we don't... If you have the right to say that we're mansplaining, then we have the right to say that you're womansplaining. But I don't think anyone says womansplaining, because that's just absolute retarded. If you feel the need to create words that don't exist in the dictionary just to prove a point, you gotta get up out of here. I'm sorry. Okay, look at this. The explanation of something by a man, typically a woman manager, the condescending or patronizing. Yeah. No. I'm pretty sure that if you get an English dictionary, you will not find mansplaining in there. You find it on the internet because everything's on the internet. You know, videos, news, Of course, you're going to find it on the internet because the internet is everything. But when it comes to the dictionary, which is strictly just English vocabulary, strictly just every word in the English vocabulary, English dialect, whatever. When it comes to just speaking English, you will not find mansplaining in the dictionary. I can guarantee you. You more than likely will not find it, because it's just a word created by women just to kind of, what's the word? I don't want to say demonize us, but kind of put a negative kind of connotation on us trying to explain ourselves, talking about mansplaining being condescending or being patronizing or dodging questions or being inaccurate or being oversimplified, whatever. Come on now, it's not, we don't say women-splaining, but do you know how much women-splain? We just don't care. When it comes to men, we straight up don't care. When it comes to all of the problems that we have tackled in this video, all of the problems, all of the opinions, all of the views that different people clearly have in this video, I straight up don't care, okay? When it comes to your opinions, I'm going to leave those to you. When it comes to your thoughts, I'm going to leave those to you. When it comes to your view on things, your perspective, maybe even if you have some experience, whether some positive experience in a positive situation or some negative experience in a negative situation, I'm going to leave that all to you. But when it comes to be a problem and a nuisance, and not even if it offends me, because if it offends me, that's just me being, offended. I'm not going to really trip. But if it becomes a problem to others, and when it comes to politics, to the country, or to society, or to a specific group of people, no, that needs to be fixed. That needs to be, you gotta reroute that in some sort of way, because that will not run. That's gonna be it for the video. I really do, when it comes to this quarantine, I'm just looking for a reason to make a video, okay? Honest, in all honesty. When it comes to anything in the world, negative, I really don't like to hit it. But if the time comes, you know, of course, when the time comes that it's going to have to be touched on, it's going to have to be talked about, it's going to have to be explained, or it's just going to have to be straight up, you know, like a problem solution type of deal, type of debate, argument, whatever, then I'm all for that. But if I'm having a good time, and if I'm, you know, enjoying myself, and I'm just having a good time, I'm not gonna care, because I'm a very positive person. I'm a very optimistic person. I'm like the most extreme. I am the most optimistic. I can't even speak. I am the most optimistic person you will probably ever meet. Ever. You will never see me, you will never catch me being negative. You will, even in the worst situation possible, I will try my best to pick out all of the positive things, all of the bright things. I will always try and find some sort of way to, because I don't like to be negative. I really don't. I don't like to be envious. I don't like to be jealous. I don't like anger. If I don't even like it in myself, I damn sure don't like it in anyone else, especially when it comes to family or friends. But normally family or friends don't have that around me, because I'm very optimistic, and I have that effect on people, friends and family, where I make them laugh. The world consists of over 7, almost 8, somewhere just about almost 8 billion people, and you will best believe that there will be at least one person with some sort of opinion, with some sort of view on things, with some sort of thought process or whatever that people will not agree with. But that's just human. That's just the thing. Everyone has their own opinions, everything. Now if it's immorally wrong and everyone sees it as wrong, then you know, you got to get up on that real quick. But if it's like a whole community or something, a whole crowd of people, a whole, you know, group, organization even of people that believe that, then that's just kind of a thing that we have to deal with. You know, you are gonna have people who disagree and agree with things, but that's just what it is. That just makes us human. Our thought process, having less different opinions, having different things, but you know, that's just what it is. And again, that's what makes us human. And I'm human, you're human, we are all human. That's just what it is. But I'm gonna have to end the video right here. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, I will put the original videos in the link description down below if you want to watch them yourself. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.